Ladies and gentlemen, happiness is not a gift. It is a conquest. It is not stumbled upon in the shadows of fortune or tossed down by chance from the heavens. No, happiness is forged like steel in fire by those who dare to take responsibility for their own state of mind. You must push yourself to be happy every day, not just because it feels good, but because it is a strategy for power, for productivity, and for peace. You become what you consistently think. Your dominant thoughts shape your mood, your energy, your behavior, and eventually, your destiny. Just as the body can be poisoned by poor food, the mind is corrupted by negative, useless, or toxic input. You must learn to guard your thoughts as fiercely as a fortress guards its gates. Most people allow their minds to consume garbage, without protest, without filter. They wake up and immediately drink in bad news, comparison, criticism, and chaos from the outside world. They scroll through envy and call it entertainment. They internalize fear and call it awareness. But you must not live like that. You must take command. You must say, "Nothing enters my mind without my permission." Ask yourself each day, what am I feeding my mind? What voices am I allowing to speak to me? Are they voices of strength or voices of doubt? Are they lifting me or slowly making me forget who I really am? Refuse to let the world program you. Program yourself. Choose what you listen to, what you read, what you speak, and even what you tolerate in conversation. Eliminate gossip. Reject cynicism. Block out anything that nurtures self-pity or helplessness. Instead, seek out the words that remind you of your power, your responsibility, and your potential. Read books that ignite your ambition. Listen to mentors who have lived what they teach. Speak words that align with the person you're becoming, not the fears you're trying to escape. The mind is like a garden. Weeds grow by default, but fruit requires effort. You must pull the weeds daily. You must plant the seeds intentionally. And you must water them with repetition, with patience, and with faith. Your mental diet, what you expose yourself to, what you allow yourself to dwell on, is not a small matter. It is everything. It is the blueprint for your mood, your habits, and your outcomes. Control it or be controlled by it. The choice, as always, is yours. Do not wait until you feel ready to move. Do not wait until you feel motivated to begin. If you sit around hoping for the right emotion to strike, you will spend your life waiting. The truth is, feelings are followers. They respond to action. They rise to meet movement. If you want to change your emotional state, start with physical action. Any action. Motion creates emotion. People make the mistake of thinking they need to feel inspired in order to behave with discipline. But the opposite is true. Discipline breeds inspiration. When you do the thing you said you would do, whether you feel like it or not, something powerful happens. You begin to trust yourself. And self-trust is the foundation of all confidence and happiness. If you're tired, move your body. If you're anxious, tidy your space. If you're discouraged, start the smallest task. Don't negotiate with your emotions. Don't argue with the voice in your head that says, "Not now." Ignore it. Act. Take the step. Make the call. Clean the desk. Go for the walk. Write the sentence. Do something. Because in doing something, you disrupt the cycle. You break the inertia. And once you break it, momentum begins to build. Action is the doorway through which all change enters. You will never think your way into happiness. You must act your way into it. Sit around waiting for joy, and your mind will find 10,000 reasons to delay. But start moving. Even clumsily, even uncertainly. And the fog begins to lift. You don't need to run a marathon to feel better. Sometimes the smallest act, done with intention, can shift your entire day. This is not about pretending or faking it. This is about being smarter than your emotions. Your feelings are not fixed truths. They are reactions. You can train them. You can outsmart them. And the fastest way to do so is to lead them with behavior. Do not let your feelings dictate your habits. Let your habits reshape your feelings. That is how personal power is built. That is how happiness is earned. Through movement, not mood. Push yourself to act, and the feelings will catch up. The way you begin your day sets the rhythm for everything that follows. The first hour is not just time. It is leverage. It is the quiet battlefield where winners build their edge and others lose theirs without even realizing it. If you stumble into your day reactive, distracted, or aimless, that tone will echo through every conversation, every decision, and every outcome. But if you begin with clarity, control, and intention, you place yourself in the driver's seat of the entire day. Most people waste their first hour. They wake up and grab their phone. Instantly, they're pulled into other people's problems, messages, noise, opinions. They scroll, they react, they compare. And just like that, before they've even stood up straight, they've handed over control of their mood and focus to the world. They wonder why they feel behind, scattered, or overwhelmed. It started with the first thing they did. You must protect that hour like it's sacred, because it is. It's your opportunity to program your mind before the world gets its hands on it. And what you do in that hour will ripple into every corner of your life. Start with silence, even 5 minutes. Breathe, center yourself, become aware of your thoughts before you allow more in. Then feed your mind. Read something that sharpens you, something that reminds you who you are and where you're going. Write. Journal your goals, your priorities, your gratitude. This isn't fluff, it's psychological armor. It is the act of aligning your thoughts with purpose before doubt or distraction can take root. Move your body. Wake up energy. Movement is not optional. It activates focus, discipline, and drive. You don't need to run 10 miles, but you do need to break the physical stillness of sleep and trigger momentum. Even 10 minutes of intentional movement can shift your mental chemistry. Decide what matters today. Don't let your day be hijacked by urgent but unimportant things. Define your priorities before others do it for you. Ask yourself, if I only accomplish one thing today, what must it be? That one question alone can save hours of wasted motion. Mastering the first hour is not about perfection. It's about ownership. It's a signal to your minding I am in command today. I choose how I begin, and therefore I influence how I end. No one drifts their way to greatness. The great ones structure their mental environment, especially at the start. So tomorrow, when you rise, don't ask, what do I feel like doing? Ask, what would the best version of me do right now? Then do that. Train yourself to win the morning, and your days will start folding in your favor. It's not magic, it's muscle. And it begins with the first hour. Life is not fair. It doesn't apologize. It doesn't ask for permission before it throws hardship your way. There will be days when nothing goes right, when people disappoint you, when plans collapse, and when the voice in your head starts whispering, "What's the point?" And in that moment, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to quiet surrender, emotional collapse, and internal defeat. The other leads to defiance, the deliberate, disciplined choice to stand your ground and say, "You will not break me today." Most people are slaves to their environment. If the world is kind to them, they smile. If it isn't, they crumble. But you must rise above that. You must become the kind of person who chooses their state of mind the way a warrior chooses their weapon. Intentionally, fiercely, and with purpose. The world may come at you with noise and pressure and failure, but it is you who decides how to respond. And in that response lies your freedom. Choosing defiance means refusing to let temporary circumstances define your permanent identity. It means when your plans fall apart, you get back up, not because you feel strong, but because you refuse to let weakness write your story. It means looking at the jaws and saying, "I will hold the line," not because it's easy, not because it's pleasant, but because power begins the moment you stop letting outside forces rule your inner world. Defiance is not anger. It's not denial. It's a quiet, fierce commitment to not hand over your peace, your mood, or your joy to people who haven't earned the right to touch them. It's reminding yourself, yes, this is hard. Yes, I feel pressure, but I still choose how I show up. That choice is everything. The world can take your time, your comfort, even your money. But it can never take your will unless you hand it over. When you choose defiance over defeat, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start declaring, "This will not define me. That shift changes everything. It shifts you from victim to creator, from follower to leader, from powerless to powerful. You stop reacting to life, and you start asserting your dominance over your own reality. You must decide that your happiness, your discipline, your effort. These are not up for negotiation. They do not belong to your boss, your past, your pain, or your circumstances. They belong to you. And when the storm comes, and it always does, you must be the one who plants their feet and says, I don't bend here. Defeat is only permanent if you accept it. But if you choose defiance, if you choose to keep moving, keep building, keep believing, you rob the struggle of its power. You turn pain into fuel. You turn resistance into fire, and you become something unshakable. So when the day hits you with setbacks, when people test your patience, when your own thoughts start to betray you, do not fold. Do not give in. Lift your head, clench your jaw, and remind life that you are not one of the weak ones. You are not going down without a fight, because you have already decided. Defeat is not your story. Stagnation is the breeding ground of frustration. It's not failure that breaks people. It's standing still. It's waking up day after day without movement, without growth, without the fire of forward motion. Human beings were not built to sit in place. We are wired for progress, and the fastest path to daily happiness, the deepest kind of fulfillment, is the knowledge that you are advancing even just by one step. Progress doesn't always roar. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it looks like finishing a difficult task you've been avoiding. Sometimes it's reading one chapter, making one call, doing one rep, having one honest conversation. But no matter how small, every act of progress sends a signal to your minding, I am becoming more. If you want to feel powerful, useful, and alive, don't chase perfection. Chase movement. The man or woman who ends each day knowing they've pushed forward, even slightly, is a person who sleeps with peace and wakes with purpose. That internal sense of momentum, of building, of climbing, that is happiness. That is what keeps the fire lit, even when life feels cold. The trap most people fall into is waiting. Waiting for the perfect plan. Waiting to feel motivated. Waiting for the timing to be right. But progress doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who work. You must train yourself to move, even in uncertainty. You must be willing to make imperfect progress, because imperfect progress still beats perfect inaction. One messy step forward is infinitely more valuable than 1,000 unexecuted intentions. You don't need to do everything today. You just need to do something meaningful. Ask yourself each morning, what can I do today that pushes me closer to my vision? And then do it. Before the world's distractions pull you off course. Progress is not about speed. It's about direction and consistency. 1 hour of focused effort every day compounds into mastery. One disciplined action per day builds character, skill, and confidence. And here's the secreting: the more progress you make, the more you crave it. Momentum is addictive. You start to see yourself differently. You begin to respect your own effort. Your identity evolves. You go from someone who talks to someone who builds. From someone who hopes to someone who executes. That shift is where transformation lies. You may not control the outcome every day, but you can control the effort. You may not see massive results instantly, but you will feel the shift internally the moment you start moving. The moment you stop waiting for ideal conditions and start using what you have from where you are, with whatever tools are available. That's when everything begins to change. So do not underestimate the power of one small win. Do not dismiss the impact of showing up again and again and again. The bridge between who you are now and who you want to become is built one brick at a time. Every day is a chance to lay one more. No matter how hard yesterday was, you can still move forward today. You can still make progress today. The goal is not to do it all. The goal is to do something. Consistently, intentionally, and without excuse. Because nothing fuels happiness more reliably than knowing, I am further today than I was yesterday. So, I ask you today, will you drift with the tide of reaction, or will you steer your vessel with deliberate thought? Will you beg happiness to come, or will you summon it with your will? You are the only thinker in your mind. Push yourself. Discipline your thoughts. Master your emotions. And do it every single day, because happiness is not given. It is commanded. Thank you.